How we feeling?
Hello.
How is everyone
Let's sign our seats,
feeling?
everybody.
These working? How's everyone feeling? I can't hear you.
Are we
Welcome to
feeling good?
PoshFest 2019.
We are so excited to see everybody here in Phoenix today. Thank you so much. Hello? Hello, hello?
Can you hear us now?
Can you hear me now? No, no. 8, check, 8. Hello?
All right. You can hear me. Well, welcome to PoshFest 2019 here in Phoenix. We are so excited to see you all. Are you guys pumped? Wow, guys, oh my gosh, wild. So pumped.
So many faces out there. Can you hear me now?
Cool.
Yay!
Oh, yay. Great.
So my name's Adiel Newsmeyer. You may know me in the app as Rose Gold Lining.
And it's your girl Amanda, the Amanda Weiss. How's everyone doing? We are going to be your hosts, hanging out with you all weekend long up here. This is PoshFest number 7. It's the biggest and best one yet.
And PoshFest has really, really grown since our very first one in 2013. How many of you guys were there with us in Las Vegas? All right. Shout out to those early adopters.
So it's crazy. In Vegas, there was about 125 people. So to look out at this crowd, it's pretty wild. Do you have any favorite memories from that first PoshFest, Adiel?
Oh my gosh, yes. Definitely, it's seeing everybody meeting in person for the first time, throwing up their arms around each other, running up to each other. It's just so memorable.
Totally agree. The Posh love is pumping through this room.
Woo!
So now I want to know, how many of you have been to every single PoshFest? All right, okay, see some hands, I see some hands.
And how many of you are here for the very first time?
Woo! Yes, love it.
As Amanda mentioned, this is the biggest and best PoshFest yet, and we have an amazing weekend in store for you.
We sure do, but before we jump in to the very first session, I gotta go over some housekeeping, general info for you all. So not only did you get your printed agendas in your swag bags when you checked in, but for the first time ever, we have a PoshFest app. So we got to give it thanks and a shout out to our India team who literally worked through the night to build that for you. Shout out. If you don't have the app yet, it's on the PoshFest website, poshfest.poshmark.com in the FAQ, so check it out, download it. You'll get a bunch of session info, social media posts, and so much more, so we're very excited about that.
Yes, and if you haven't taken a moment to connect to the Wi-Fi, it is available. The network name is PoshFest 2019, and the password is PoshLove, all lowercase, so get connected.
Very fitting password.
Yes, very much. Are you feeling the PoshLove today? And we have a lot of Team Posh in the house with us today. They're all wearing black PoshFest t-shirts, and it says Team Posh on the back, so keep an eye out for those if you have questions or just want to say hi.
Team Posh, where you at?
Woo!
All right.
And a reminder, if you haven't taken a moment to think about which breakout sessions you're attending today, you'll want to start to do that, but we'll have a lot more information about that later today.
All right, so the great thing about Poshmark is all the different types of ways it easily fits into all of our lives, and this first session really highlights just that. So I'm very excited to introduce our first moderator, who is our small but oh so mighty head of PR. She has secured hundreds of media spots for Poshmark, like Forbes, WWD, Fashionista, and so much more. Please welcome Sera Michael to the stage for the Tales of Part-Time Poshers.
Hi, everybody. Is this thing on? Can you hear me? Woohoo! So welcome to PoshFest 2019. Woo! Woohoo! We're excited to be up here for the very first panel of the weekend. So who is excited to have some fun this weekend? Woo! Us too. So we're up here today to talk about the art of doing and balancing it all. I'm sure there's a lot of part-time poshers in the audience, as well as some full-time poshers. And I'm sure we can all relate to the very real struggle of trying to do and balance everything. So that's why we brought in the experts to share their tips and tricks for time management, for goal setting, and even carving out some time for themselves amidst it all. So I know that I'm always trying to wish there was more time in the day, struggling to balance it all. So I'm really excited to steal some of their tips and tricks. So before we dive into our conversation, I wanted to turn it over to you guys to share a little bit about yourself, quick intro, and then also share with the audience what it is you're balancing in addition to your poshing business, whether it be raising a family or working a busy full-time job. So let's start with you, Melody.
Thank you, Sarah. Hi, everyone. So first of all, I'd just like to say thank you so much to Team Posh for everything that you guys do. Thank you for who you are. Thank you for what you do, and thank you for all the love and support. Second thing, I'm super excited to be here in Arizona. I live in Los Angeles, but Arizona is my home state. Woo! And so my name is Melody Raquel Gant. On Poshmark, I'm at Melody Raquel. I am a full-time registered nurse. I work in plastic and reconstructive surgery in Beverly Hills. And I also am a Posh Boss entrepreneur. And aside from those two things that I do, I also am a world traveler. I'm more recently participating in international medical missions, and I love going to growth and development classes, and have a lot of friends and family that I love to spend time with. So those are the things that I'm currently balancing in my life.
Awesome. Clark, you're up.
Hello, PoshFest. Woo! My name's Clark. Don't worry about the last name. It's just like Sting or Oprah. I've been a part-time posher for 1 year as of September. And in that time frame, I've managed to travel between here and Nashville almost on a monthly basis. I have a full-time job as a public speaker, and I have about between a 2 to 3 hour commute every day that I have to work with, in addition to a thriving Poshmark business. Welcome.
Hey everybody, I'm Lauri. I am Rose Colored World on Poshmark, and I'm the lazy reseller on Instagram. I am not lazy, it's irony. Hopefully you guys get that after you listen to this. I am from San Francisco, from the Bay Area. I have I'm a full-time plus employee for the San Francisco Marathon. I am the operations director, hence the race director. And I've got 3 grown boys. They need just as much attention now as they did when they were little. And I've been reselling for 2 years, and I love Poshmark. It's a great app, pays my bills. Welcome.
Hi guys, I'm Megan. I am at Dapper Chic Boutique, BTQ, on Posh and Instagram. I am a full-time reseller and also a full-time mama to a 3-year-old boy and an 8-month-old boy. So I am representing the moms in the group today.
Yes. Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Also, I'm just going to say our timer's not working, so we'll have no idea how long we're talking up here, so someone's going to have to stop us. All right, so let's dive in. So thanks, everyone, for the intros. You're obviously all super busy, so I wanted to start with how you structure your days and you manage your time, something we obviously wish we all had more of in the day. So Clark, let's start with you. You do something called bucketing your time. Can you tell everyone what that is?
Yeah, so I look at every day that I have as a bucket. And in that bucket, there are big rocks, little rocks, and pieces of sand. So my big rocks, of course, are my job or maybe my commute. Of course, family's a big thing. So those are the big rocks that are really just unmovable from day to day. But in between those rocks, there are itty-bitty spaces. And so from there, I call it buying time. You know, most people say, well, I spend time. Well, no, I buy time. And the way that I buy time is by putting it into things that put my Posh business in an area of growth. So instead of maybe cruising Facebook or Instagram, I'm actually sharing my closet and I'm sharing things on Instagram. I'm liking things that are just part of my business. So it's all about the choices that you make during the day. So I don't have a lot of time. So the other thing that I do in my bucket is I plan my days. So for me, there's 3 elements of Poshmark that you have to look at. The first is sourcing, which is finding, of course, the merchandise that you get to sell. The second thing is listing, which involves a lot of photography. If you've seen Hibiscus Pizza, you know what I'm talking about. And then finally, it's actually selling it. So getting it out there so people can buy it. So one day I might devote a lot of time to just sourcing. And I'm pretty careful about what I source, because at the end of the day, the more that I source, the more work I have to do, and the less attention that I can pay to other things. So I don't have a really big death pile. I think at this point, my death pile, my profit pile, actually sits at about 75 very manageable pieces. From there, it's listing, which is really my favorite part, because you can see my picture. I'm a kind of a selfie guy. So that's just me, an opportunity for me to express myself a little bit more. And then finally selling, just getting into sharing it out there, making sure that it's visible, making sure that it's at the top of the list. And I share my closet every day, and I share the closets of others. So if you join me on Instagram, Hibiscus Pizza, Facebook, Hibiscus Pizza, Twitter, Hibiscus Pizza, and say, share my closet, I will absolutely do that. But the other thing to keep in mind as a final thought on this is you decide what's important in your bucket. And you can remove stuff just as you can put stuff in. So for example, very recently, I decided to remove doing my hair from my bucket. Unfortunately, that was replaced by putting my moisturizer on my face.
Awesome. So Melody, let's take it to you. You're a nurse with a crazy schedule, and you also take time to model for your cover shots or style them with flat lays, which obviously is pretty time consuming. So how do you make time to really do it all? How do you maximize your time?
Thank you for asking, Sarah. So for me, I think where it starts at is I've really done a lot of work the past couple of years and kind of like self-discovery and looking at myself and like, what exactly is it that I'm passionate about? What is it that I care about? What is it that I want to do in the world? What is it that I want to do with my life? And the things that I've created from that, my profession in nursing, I love to take care of people. I love to make people feel special. I like to make them feel well cared for. I like them to feel comfortable and confident in a vulnerable time in their life or their family's life. In my Poshmark business, I love to be creative. I love to create outfits together or do my hair and my makeup in a certain way that seems exciting to me. So throughout that, and more recently, I'm starting to create some collections based on travel, because that's something also that's been very meaningful in my life. So my most current collection is the Arizona collection, actually, kind of in honor of PoshFest. So what kind of vibes do I feel when I wear this here? Or what do I want someone else to feel when they're wearing this? And so by kind of starting with that and then moving forward, pretty much my Monday through Thursday is dedicated to my nursing. I work in the operating room. I also take care of patients immediately after surgery. It is can be a bit of a stressful environment, and just like very like mental, very like making sure I'm like aware of everything. Then when on the evenings and the weekends, I get to explore my creative side. So Monday through Thursday, I'm dedicated to my poshing. In the evenings, maybe I'll go to a yoga class or go work out. Sundays, to start the week, I kind of plan out what is it that I want to accomplish this week, what collection do I want to start creating. Then I go through my Monday through Thursday caring for people, and then Fridays, typically I'll do photo shoots. Newest photographer, Ellie Retro Girl. Met a friend through Poshmark who's become someone very close to me, so we also get to hang out. I get to maximize time hanging out with friend and doing pictures. Saturdays, I'll do some photo editing and then listing, and then kind of coordinate everything else throughout the week.
Awesome. And I also remember you told me earlier that you set a timer. So you time yourself, which I thought was really, really efficient. So you kind of bucket it just like Clark does, but if you have an hour, you dedicate like 15 minutes or something to each item or each thing, which I think is a really smart way to organize your day.
Yeah, whichever things I feel are the things I need to accomplish on my Poshmark, whether it's listing, sharing, editing pictures, I'll set a little timer on my phone if I have an hour and a half, and I have, 5 things, I'll set a timer for 20 minutes, and I'll give my full heart and attention to that time with whatever I'm doing, and then move forward with the next. And I think that's something else, just whether it be in my professional nursing or my Poshmark or any other aspect of my life, I'm just giving like my whole heart and like my whole focus and my attention to whatever I'm doing at that time, and that's really allowed me to be successful in the areas that I care about.
Awesome, thanks. And so when you're working all day, it can be really hard to find time to even source inventory or know what to source. So Lauri, with your busy job working for the SF and Berkeley Marathons, how do you source your inventory?
Well, first off, I am carless. I'm a carless reseller, just so you know.
Ooh.
Yeah, it can be done. But living where I live, there's a ton of really great buy-sell trade stores, and I take a break. I have to. I've got to step away from the computer at some point. I will literally walk out the door with an empty IKEA bag, head for the buy-sell trades or the Goodwill on foot, and I know what to look for. So I usually spend about an hour, and I can pretty much walk down an aisle now and spot something. And one of the reasons I can do this is because being the lazy reseller, I pay people for information. So I'm part of a group where I learn about brands, and it just shortens the runway for me. The learning curve is shorter. And so I spend my hour walking, grabbing things from the buy-sell trade. Sometimes I'll rent a car and I'll run down. There's a Crossroads outlet. Yes, a Crossroads outlet in Stockton. And I'll get a rental car just to go down there to get inventory. But yeah, I make the most of my day. And while I'm out, it's good to get away from the computer and clear your head. And it's just a really great way to, and while I'm out, the other thing I do is I look at everybody on the street. I check out what they're wearing, the men, the women, people my age, people younger than me. I also, every morning, I turn the news on, and I watch the news, and I see what the newscasters are wearing, and I try and find that kind of stuff at the outlets and the buy-sell trade stores.
Love that. Great way to be observant. So investing in tools that make your business more efficient can be also a great time saver. Megan, you have your hands full with a 3-year-old and an 8-month-old. What are some of the ways you made your business more efficient in order to be able to posh with little ones running around? And also, are there certain times of the day that are better for poshing than others?
Yes. As far as things that I've invested in to make myself more efficient, if you're not pre-packing your bags or your items to get them ready to ship when you're listing them, do that, because that is a huge time saver when it comes to getting those morning sales out the door. The other thing that I do is I have a spreadsheet system. Every item that I source has a trail. As far as what that includes, I've got a link on my link tree on Instagram if you guys don't have one, and take a day to get your stuff updated so that you have a system in place. That has helped me be able to not just maintain my business, but have the extra time in the day to grow my business. As far as the spreadsheet system goes, once an item sells, I have a different spreadsheet that goes to a monthly sales record, and that has an inventory box number next to it. So each morning I say, I need to get into A, B, C, and D today, and that's super quick. I also invested in a Dymo printer, hashtag not an ad, sorry. But I didn't realize how much time I was spending cutting and taping labels to a bag every day until I wasn't doing it anymore. And it is a huge time saver if you're super busy and have limited time anyway. As far as the best time of day, when the baby sleeps. Any moms know that handsy babies are never welcome in a photograph session. I do have to be flexible with my time though. So each day, Whit normally goes down for his nap around 9-ish. If I don't know what I'm doing at 9:02 when I'm able to leave his room, I'm not gonna get anything done because I'm gonna spend an extra 10 minutes thinking about what needs to get done or maybe fill up my coffee cup. So what I have to do is work with intention. I have to get up an hour earlier than everybody else in my house every day. Make a list, drink my coffee, get ready, and then when 9 o'clock hits, I know exactly what I'm going to do so I can stretch every second of every minute that I've got available to posh.
Amazing. Love it. So There are a lot of new Poshers in the audience, and you're probably trying to balance it all just like you. So what is one, and just one, because we don't have a lot of time, one small trick that everyone can easily apply to their routine to help them be more efficient? And let's start with you over here, Melody.
Organize your inventory.
Clark.
Use technology. Everything that I have is interconnected. So for example, when I take a picture with my phone, it uploads to OneDrive and I can list from my computer much quicker than trying to do it all from the phone.
Mine is to order free shipping supplies from the U.S. Postal Service. Have them delivered to you. Big time saver.
Mine is share from your computer. It is so much faster than sharing from your phone. And when you get a bigger inventory, you're going to want to start sharing from your computer.
That's a good one. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about work-life balance, or in this case, posh life balance. So in talking to you all prior to PoshFest, I noticed an interesting theme that came up in our conversations. Several of you were highlighting the importance of listening to yourself and putting yourself first, which can be easy to forget when you're running around super busy, but it's also so important to take time for yourself when you're juggling so many things. So Lauri, what are some of the ways you've incorporated wellness into your routine, and how can busy Poshers do the same?
Just so you know, I have a lazy reseller diet on my Instagram page. I am a firm believer in exercise every day, and it's not just because I'm in the running community. 45 minutes of walking, fast enough that you breathe hard. It clears your mind, it keeps you active, it gets you away from your computer, and also for me, food. What I take into my body, it translates to what comes out in my mind. So I'm pretty much no sugar, no wheat, and I'm older, I'm 55, so I really am trying hard to stay on top of the game, and that's one of the ways I do it. But I do believe exercise is key.
Ooh.
Okay.
All right. And Melody, what are the ways in which you practice self-care in order to be able to accomplish everything you do each day?
So for me, there's a few things that I do. I kind of have a list of things that I like to do, and then I incorporate them when I can. One of the ways that's been most meaningful and impactful for me to start my day is actually doing gratitude. So I have a gratitude journal that I use. I have some little gratitude rocks that I occasionally use. But when I wake up, I like to look at myself, look at my life, look at things around me, and discover what it is that I'm grateful for, what I'm thankful for. Second thing I'd love to do, time permitting, usually on the weekends versus the 6 a.m. that I'm in the surgery center, is watching sunrises. For me, this is just like a very zen kind of activity, and it is really a reminder that I have another gift today. Today I have the chance to make a difference. Today I have the opportunity to create something and to be whomever that I choose. Meditation, also something that is an important self-care for me. I'll just kind of YouTube, depending on the time frame that I have, even if it's like a 5-10 minute, what's something in like a morning meditation. Maybe if I'm not going up on the roof, on my rooftop to watch the sunrise, maybe I'm just lying in bed and doing that. So that's...
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
I think
so
those are things that we can all apply to our busy routines. And then Megan, for all the moms in the audience, or dads, all the parents, how do you take time to pause as a busy mom?
You don't. As a mom, you do not pause. But I do think it's so important to recognize the season of life that we are currently in. If you're a mom of young kids, or as Lauri says, any kids, grown or young, you have to recognize that you're in a season of life that is really, really, really hard and exhausting. We're giving 100% to everyone and everything in our lives, and then we're building a business on top of it. So we're killing it. Whether or not you make 150 sales and have a really awesome Instagram post on Monday morning, or you make 3 sales like I did over the weekend and you spend some time with your kids, you're still doing it, and it's not going to implode if you don't share your closet at 8 o'clock before the party. Thank you. So recognize your season, and my biggest challenge for myself and for everyone is when I'm scrolling through Instagram and I see the 150 boxes going out on a Monday morning, I have to ask myself, okay, what's different about their situation and mine? And if you can acknowledge and accept that about you and your season, I think that that will help you get in a better mental state as far as being positive about what you're doing.
Nice. Thank you. Well, I want to talk about goal setting, so I'm going to turn it over to you, Clark, because whether you're setting goals, whether they're big or small, they can definitely be a great way to hone your focus and really see results. So I know that you have a really long commute to work each day and don't have a lot of free time as a result. So what kind of goals do you create so that you can achieve success?
So, money. So for me, it kind of started out as an experiment. I've always enjoyed fashion. And I've always enjoyed being an online reseller. I've sold probably on every major platform. So this just kind of became an experiment to like, can I pay for my mortgage? So check. But for me, it's really bending and recognizing the joy that I find in doing this. So my products, the stuff that I sell has been at weddings, it's been at funerals, it's been at proms, it's probably been on a few first dates. So for me, it's the joy that I feel that I'm sharing a small piece of myself with everybody and kind of influencing how they feel about themselves. And when you kind of put it in that perspective, it really makes it easy to just simply do that because it's something that you're going to want to do every day.
Awesome. So I always find it really inspiring to hear what people use their Poshmark funds to support, whether it's a mortgage or a vacation or anything in between. And so I'd love to hear from all of you, what are some of the things that your Poshmark side hustle has allowed you to accomplish thanks to all of your amazing, excellent time management skills? So let's start with you, Megan.
Awesome, thank you. So Poshmark has been huge, a life-changing experience for us. I was actually able to quit my corporate job to do this and stay home with my kids full-time, which then allowed us to move back to my husband's hometown, and now our kids get to go to the high school that he went to, and they get to go to the Friday night football games, and it's just been a really, really cool experience for us since I paid the mortgage. That's my goal financially each month is to pay the mortgage, and that's how it's been life-changing for us.
You're up, Lauri.
For me, it's financial freedom. I'm a single person who supports myself entirely on my own. Poshmark, what I make on Poshmark pays my rent, which means the money that I make from my full-time job can go towards my retirement because I am getting older. And what it also supports, believe it or not, is my 3 boys. So they are grown, yes, and they all have jobs, yes, but they live in the Bay Area. And there are times that they've needed some extra support, and I'm easily available to give it to them. So for me, I don't work this hard just for myself, I do it for my kids.
Love that. Lots of applause today. Love this crowd.
So for me, again, it was just something that I could do to pay my mortgage. I think long term, and I think this is particular to Posh, and probably particular to this platform, is that what we're doing here, if you're a new Posher, welcome, because you've stumbled on something that you can literally take with you the rest of your life. So for me, it's, first stop is mortgage. The second stop is critical mass to actually produce my own clothing line. So coming soon at the end of 2020 will be Hibiscus Pizza Clothing. So look out for it.
Ooh, exciting.
So for me, the things that my earnings from Poshmark have allowed me to do, initially in 2015 when I started my Poshmark closet, I severely fractured my foot at one of my best friend's bachelorette parties.
Must have been fun.
Which left me in a boot and a scooter for 3 months early in my nursing career. So kind of it's like transcended like much. At that time it was a way to make ends meet, to pay for my mortgage, to pay for my car and things that I needed, and now it's quite something different. But most recently, it's allowed me financial freedom to take myself on travels. Last year, after my graduating with my bachelor's degree in nursing, I took myself on an independent solo international trip to Bali, Singapore, Rome and Italy, which was beautiful, and also helped contribute to my medical mission to Guatemala, which I'll also be going on this upcoming year. So a lot of travel, a lot of fun, and yeah, thank you.
Great. Well, it's almost a wrap for us, but we have a couple of minutes left, so I wanted to do a quick rapid fire. So I want to hear, in all your busy time, all the time you spent on Poshmark, I want to hear what your favorite flip and your favorite find was. So let's just go in a random order and start with you, Clark.
I found a pair of shoes in a suitcase that I sold for $420.
Okay, but what about your find?
Oh, that was
I guess
my
that
find.
could be a find. Or that's a flip
Oh,
too.
that's my favorite
Flip
flip.
and a find. In
My
one.
favorite find's always the same every time I find it, which is a full-length faux fur coat.
Nice. Okay, Lauri.
My favorite find was a Canada Goose jacket at the Goodwill for $4.99.
Woo.
My favorite flip was a Hallmark ornament, maybe this size. Sold it for $120.
Wow.
I'll,
Okay, Megan.
Mine is actually the same. On the day I quit my corporate job to pursue reselling full-time, I found a pair of Lily Pulitzer dark and stormy shorts for $2.50 at Goodwill. It was a sign from the universe that I was meant to do this because I sold them for $250.
Nice. Okay.
Favorite find would definitely have to be what I'm wearing today.
Yes, it's great.
those
Yes.
shoes
I
are
agree,
life.
I agree.
Those shoes are life.
Where did?
I agree.
What closet is it from?
This is like a vintage jumpsuit, full, zip up the front, tuck it in the back, and also these vintage Gucci glasses, dressed by LA Retro Girl. So that would be favorite find. Also finding her was quite a blessing. And my favorite flip would have to be this beautiful New Tags BB floor length, double layered stitch maxi, but like bodycon dress. And the girl that messaged me about it is like, how quickly could you ship this out? And I'm like, I could probably ship it tomorrow. She says, good. I've been looking for weeks for my beach wedding dress, and this is it.
Aww.
And I can't say, like, I was so excited for her. I packaged up her package with, like, everything bridal that I could do, and I,
So
like, turned it
cute.
into, like, a spectacular thing. So
Aw,
it
that's
felt
amazing.
really special to know that she was wearing something she bought for me, like, on that special of an occasion.
That's so awesome. Yeah, that's definitely what makes Poshmark so great. Well, thanks so much to all of our panelists. Thanks so much to all of you for being a great audience. I'm definitely inspired to make my life a lot more efficient, and I hope you are too. So that's a wrap for us. Enjoy the rest of PoshFest.
Thank you.
How inspiring was that? It's so inspiring to hear the way that these Poshers are fitting everything that matters to them into their lives, including Poshmark, right? Well, let's get moving right on to the next session. If you list it, they'll come, but they'll come a little faster if you spend some time amplifying, right? Right? Sharing's caring. So let's get ready to hear some marketing insights from the Poshers who are mastering their techniques. But first, let me introduce and welcome back to the stage one of Poshmark's resident marketing extraordinaires. She was the one-woman social team for nearly 5 years, and she's the embodiment of Posh love. Let's hear a big welcome for my colleague, MPFF, Amanda Weiss. Hi again. All right, have a seat, looking good. Who's ready to talk about marketing? All right, so we obviously are well acquainted by now, I would say, but in addition to, seeing me on the download and hosting Poshmark videos, I actually do have a day job. I work in marketing. I've been in the marketing space for over 10 years, been with Poshmark for 8 years, so I am very excited about this panel. So because marketing is all about awareness and reaching people and ultimately bringing them to all of your businesses, I'm confident you have interacted with these amazing panelists in some way, whether on the app or social media.
So without further ado, I'm going to start at the far end. We're going to do Posh Man first. We have Brian Kaler. You may know him on Instagram as the Houston Exchange. He has a great Instagram aesthetic, if I don't say so myself. And he has been on Poshmark since 2016 and has been thrifting since the age of 9. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I started off on Poshmark. My girlfriend at the moment had told me to buy some Toms. I bought them from Goodwill for like $3, and I put them up on Poshmark for 14, sold them for 13, and made $11. And at that, I was just hooked.
Awesome. Thank you
So,
for that. We're moved down. We're gonna come back to that. We have Alex Marquez, the Deal Queen. She's from Arkansas. She's a full-time posher and YouTuber, and she's been on the app, we were just saying backstage, since 2012. She's been to every single PoshFest. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited.
And then sitting in hot pink, we're very complimentary, we have Erica Parr. She is a boutique owner from Pittsburgh who has a love for maximalist accessories for the minimalist closet. I love a maximalist accessory.
Clearly, I do too.
Welcome, everybody. All right, so let's get right into it. I want to go through marketing, the marketing world pretty much from like the very beginning, from when you're getting started to some of the more advanced strategies, which will include Poshmark marketing tools. We offer a ton of things for you right on the app. Brand awareness, social media, brand marketing, and pretty much how to scale your business from there. So, kicking it off, I know it can all seem a little daunting if you're just getting started, but like I said, Poshmark offers so many marketing tools. So I'm going to start with Alex, because we were talking about this, went down in the DMs, we were talking about titles and descriptions. Can you kind of elaborate on how important titles and descriptions are?
100%. So I actually talked about this on my stories the other day about how I accidentally misspelled the name of one of the brands that I listed. So I actually went in and fixed it, and immediately popped up in search. So within the app, it's really important to have those titles and descriptions correct, because that's where it's pulling from. Even if you have the correct brand in your listing, it's important to state it in the title and the description, just so you can be found through Google and also on the app. So I would say it's really important to get those things and include them in as many places as you can.
Definitely. So like she said, with Google, at Poshmark, we have an entire team dedicated to advertising, and one of those things is working with Google to promote all of your listings. So the more information in the title, the better, for sure. So as much as you probably want to put like host pick, it might not make you appear in search, so it's a great way to start. So many cards here, excuse me. All right, so Brian, let's talk about offers to likers. What's your offers to liker strategy?
So everybody probably already knows about the offers to likers that Poshmark offers, where you just go to your listing and drop it there. So what I use is every time someone likes an item from my closet, I go ahead and I click on their page, and then I go to the top, and you can add each individual item to their bundle. And from there, I feel like I can send them a more personalized offer, and they feel welcome.
Awesome. Speaking of like making things personal, what are some other personal touches you add to make sure you're building relationships with your customers?
So I used to, when I first started, I used to just toss it into like a box or poly mailer or just whatever I could get for free. And it was just easy, simple, and cost efficient. So then I started to put it into plastic poly mailers from U-Pack and Ship. And then from there, I would also add like a pineapple or watermelon, whatever kind of poly mailer I can find.
Love
and
that.
Put it in there, and it looks pretty. And I feel like it makes people want to come back because it looks like a business.
Yeah, definitely. Anything to add there, ladies?
Okay, so what I do to connect back to the customer, a couple of ways. So I offer styling services. My closet's a little bit different. I'm going to wait for the gasp from everyone, but I don't go thrifting.
That's okay. Poshmark's for every kind of seller.
Guys. So it took me a minute. I'll just give you a small backstory. So my business is called Closet Rehab. It was Closet Rehab plus Home. And I was literally selling everything from people's homes that I was offering rehab sessions for that wasn't nailed down. So once I figured out that I needed to scale back my business a little bit, it was getting too cumbersome just for me. I really shifted back to, at my core, what I enjoyed, and that is accessories. So within that, now when I'm working with customers online on Poshmark, I will see people that are liking multiple things. I'll add it to a bundle, and I'll begin a conversation with them. Are you, looking for styling for a certain event? Do you have something coming up? And then I offer my design services as well, because I offer custom design, so they can get a unique piece for themselves. Once they get the package, similar to what Brian was saying, and much like you would see with a larger company, I include a little sticker that says, thanks so much for your purchase. I'm so excited to see how you style it, and then I give all my social media information so we can continue that conversation and relationship off of Poshmark, although we still continue on Poshmark and reconnect, but you want to keep that relationship in other avenues as well, Facebook and Instagram. Keep your customers coming back to you from different avenues, so.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. Your earrings are amazing too. Very fabulous. So I know we all know the importance of sharing, so I don't want to spend too much time, but quickly let's go down the row and tell me how many times a day you share, and maybe what are the most specific times, if any, that you think drive the most traction or sales.
Sure, so I'll go ahead and start. So I typically share around, so I'm on the East Coast. I typically share in the morning. Before I head into my shop. I will share again during lunch if I get, we don't really get a lunch, there's no 9 to 5, let's be honest. So I'll kind of share throughout the day when it's slow in the shop with customers, and then I'll share again in the evening, which is probably one of the most active times.
What about you?
Yeah, I would say that's about accurate for me as well. I would say first thing in the morning, and then in the evening is usually when most of the activity is happening, so that's a good time to share. And also during the day, I feel like for me, I'm doing all of the work. I'm doing the back end things. I'm listing. I'm sourcing. So I think sharing is really important in the morning and in the evening when most people are on the app.
Yeah.
I agree completely. So for me, I feel like the most important time for me to share is late at night, around like 11 o'clock. I feel like people are kind of winding down. They're laying in bed. They're trying to go to sleep. And their minds are like, oh, I'm not tired yet. So they go to Poshmark. They start looking around, and I go ahead and share my closet at that point. And then when I wake up the next day, I have likes, offers, comments, all of that. So it's a great way to kind of work it all around.
I'm so guilty of late night shopping slash sleep shopping, Yes. You're like, you need that, 11 o'clock at night. So, Brian, I'm going to stay with you down there. You have been killing it on Instagram and have really found your voice and your vibe, your aesthetic. What made you decide right now to focus on Instagram as a platform to help your Poshmark business?
So I use Instagram as kind of a way to express myself. It's kind of like it's like a personal Instagram opposed to like a business. So I use it as like a personal Instagram as a way to connect with buyers, other resellers, other people in the community. And it, being a man in a female-dominated community, nothing wrong with that. I'm just.
No, it's great. You're getting in on the early adoption of being a posh man, so that's a great strategy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Alex, going to move to you. We're obviously you've joined Poshmark and you really jumped into social media early on, and we've loved watching you grow. When talking about YouTube for a second, what inspired you to start making videos? And if you could share 3 tips on getting started, what would they be?
I think I started YouTube originally because I get a lot of questions from the community about how to start a Poshmark closet within the app and on Instagram. Instagram was a big motivator for me to start YouTube. But I would say that's definitely the biggest motivator for me, is to kind of consolidate those tips into like a useful video rather than having to chase the answers. So that was definitely the biggest thing for me. And I would say for me, the big 3 tips for me would be to follow the trends on YouTube. So if you're going to start a channel, see what's trending within YouTube and kind of utilize that to work with your Poshmark business, whether that be thrift hauls or thrift with me's. Those are huge on YouTube right now. So of course, follow the trends with that. And also, I think being a professional and putting a little bit of time and effort into your YouTube channel can be really helpful.
Awesome. So Erica, because you really focus on your customer and your product, can you share some strategies and the ways that you highlight more of your product and your customer, maybe on your Instagram?
Sure, yeah. So on Instagram, I'm always sharing new designs, especially custom requests, that is really where my passion lies, obviously just in accessories. But what gets me excited at the end of the day is helping all the ladies feel beautiful. So yeah, that's just what really excites me.
Yeah, and I love seeing you share, like regram some of the people that are wearing your designs. It's a great way to kind of spread the love even further and build your customer base.
And
right?
it takes the pressure off of you creating all of your own content.
Yeah.
Again, because we all only have 24 hours in a day, even Beyonce.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm just saying, we all have 24 hours in a day. So how you use it, is up to you, and wherever you can maximize. And of course, people want to be highlighted and appreciated. So I really just relay that back to the customer. And I'm so grateful for every purchase, for everyone that loves my earrings and showcases them. So yeah.
Definitely. So I feel like with social media in general, it's truly about showcasing your journey. Everybody up here and so many of you in the audience really do a great job of that, so you shouldn't be intimidated. But I do know that, there's, like you said, there's only 24 hours in the day. How do you guys prioritize what channels you're using and what drives the most traffic to your closet? Because that's obviously what you ultimately want.
Okay, I'll start first. So I take a minimalist approach in a lot of the things that I do in my life, and that's also gone back to my closet. So we'll talk about two things really quick. So Poshmark, in terms of the apps that I was using to sell on, I was exploring with Mercari and a number of other reselling apps, and I love Poshmark. I love the vibe. I love the people on it. I love everything that it stands for. So, and that is where all of my sales were coming through. So. Duh. Why not continue with what's working?
Yeah.
And then same thing with Instagram. Like I don't talk a lot on my Instagram, so maybe I'll have to do that a little bit more going forward. But it's really just, for me, keeping that minimalist approach and being able to focus and keep it simple so that the message is clear and I'm not spread out in multiple directions. So.
Yeah, I would say Instagram is definitely my biggest tool for marketing in general. For me, I feel like my Instagram is more of a combination of both business and my real life, and I think that does help me in certain ways because I feel like people will get to know me as a person, and in that way they kind of want to become my customer naturally rather than like doing those like very aggressive marketing tactics. And so I feel like that really helps me convert people to customers on Poshmark. And then also, once you can get the swipe up in your stories, that's a direct link straight to your listing or straight to your closet. So if you can use that, feature, it's really, really helpful.
Just a follow-up question for that. I know we get questions all the time about keeping a business account versus a personal. Can you share like why you kind of combine both?
Yeah, so I actually have a personal Instagram, but I wanted to talk more about my Poshmark journey. I mean, I never created my Instagram to, do anything influencer related whatsoever. I just wanted to share my finds, and my friends were kind of over it. So I created a separate Instagram, and I mean, I do talk a lot about work, but I like to add in those personal touches just so, again, people feel like they know me and, feel like they want to be my customer because they like me and not because I'm forcing them to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I agree with Alex on that one. I know I don't have 10,000 followers on Instagram, like the swipe up feature, but I turned mine into a business account just so I can see engagement, interaction when people are on, so I can hit the most people with my hashtags and the time. Again, like you said, 24 hours a day, maximize your time.
Can you elaborate on that? What other kind of insights do you look at?
Audience, like I said, the main thing I look at is when people are on. Again, being on Instagram and using Instagram only, I typically post around 6, 7 o'clock because again, people are getting home, they're making dinner, they're on their phone, they're getting into bed.
The turning your page into a business account, you really do get a lot of great information, times of days, percentage, demographics about your audience, and so you can kind of tailor your content to really kind of suit your audience.
Yeah, I would say having a business account is really helpful. I mean, it has so many tools that help you get to know who your audience is and kind of cater your content to those people. So I think you're right. That's definitely helpful.
Along with what's doing well and what's not. So again, like you said.
How do you, on that note, how do you test content and optimize and kind of, move forward with concepts? Is there something that hasn't performed and you're like, oh, I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to try something new? How do you plan and look into that kind of stuff?
So I look at it it's a learning lesson. You may post something that's going to get 40 likes, and then you may post something that gets 700. And I learned, for me, again, I post Saturday in the morning, and I post something with Posh packages with a witty caption talking about some song that's in right now, and it does really well, and it draws a lot of attraction to it.
I think my favorite was the video of you with the like bar, and you're like lifting weights with the clothes on each
So
side.
I was in Goodwill, and they had like a little like workout bar, and then I found a
It's very creative.
yes, it was a for like a shower curtain, and then I put some like shorts on each side, and I was just doing like push-ups, and I had my friend take a picture, and I was like, got to get that workout in.
That's right.
That's cute.
Do you even thrift, bro?
Oh, God, the Bro commercials.
Thank you. I'll be here all day. All right. So on the social media front, Alex, you do a really good job of connecting the Poshmark marketing tools like offers to likers, and you really build like incentivization and urgency. Can you kind of talk about, do you plan that? What goes into that, and kind of elaborate on that kind of concept you do, because you do a really good job of that.
Thank you. I feel like I try to use my stories as a way to kind of drive traffic, especially because I feel like my audience, obviously, we all love a good deal. So when I run a sale, I mean, Instagram's the first place I go to advertise it, because those people are the first people to hop on those really good prices. And I think it does kind of incentivize people to move quickly and kind of buy while it's available. And so saying like, this is only gonna happen for the next 12 hours, or I'm dropping prices right now, like go check out what I'm dropping prices on, things like that, kind of incentivizes people to rush and kind of feel like they need to get the deal while it's there. So that helps me.
And we were talking, you were like, it's kind of like a competition, right?
Yeah.
People are like, oh my gosh, I need to get this right now. And for all the popular items, you're like, this is what you can find, you know, accepting offers for the next hour or something. And so it really does drive people to your Poshmark business. I've been guilty of buying way too many things from Insta stories, for sure. Very true. Okay, so now moving into some of the more brand marketing questions. You know, brand marketing is really about bridging the gap between your product and your customer, which links back to your brand identity, your values, and your personality. And Erica, you were saying you had a really interesting story on how you honed in on your brand first and you tried reselling. How did you kind of shift and market yourself with this new direction?
Yeah, so honestly, my business has really paralleled to my life in general. When I started Closet Rehab back when I was still in Chicago in 2011, 2013, I was going through what I kind of call my eat, pray, love moment. And I was, you know, going through a divorce. I had quit my corporate job, had sold my house, sold as much as I could from my house, along with a ton of clothes. And this was like right before Poshmark had started. So I was selling it any way that I could. And whatever I didn't, have left, I, packed up in my car, packed up in a pod, and I traveled the country and just kind of found myself. So with that, when I moved to Pittsburgh, I landed in Pittsburgh, and I was helping other people who were going through similar life changes. So, if there was a divorce or someone had passed away, and it was a really sensitive place. Like going in someone's closet is really, really personal. It's their, curated area. So, and just being, cognizant of the situation. So helping them through that. But I quickly found out that I did not enjoy reselling clothes at all. So I had accumulated over 700 pounds of stuff that I had shifted to sending into ThredUp and RealReal and a number of other Poshers in Pittsburgh, thank you. So I really just had to ask myself, what am I truly passionate about? What makes me excited in every part of the process when it comes to selling? And for me, that was jewelry. So, and I got very specific with it. I was terrified because you think less is going to mean less. But really, for me, less is more. So focusing on acrylic and acetate jewelry and accessories and helping people who, want to accessorize their wardrobe, be it a maximalist wardrobe or a minimalist. So.
Awesome. So Alex, you recently got an office space, and you call it the House of Deals, which is so on brand. What are some other ways that you plan to bring your brand to life and stay true to your personality?
Well, shout out to Shay. She's sitting on the floor down here. She's the other half of House of Deals.
Hey.
We share an office, and it's just been a really fun experience for us to it does kind of play to a brand though, and I mean, it's definitely been fun. I feel like people really engage with that, and it's kind of an exciting move. So I think kind of just expanding from there. We're considering maybe getting a different space in a couple years, and yeah, it's just been fun. I feel like that's really helped with our engagement. People are just excited to hear about like different projects that we're doing. So I think just bringing new things to the table and kind of switching it up and maybe bringing those changes to your audience to let them see what you're doing behind the scenes can be really cool. So
It's been really cool to see
Thanks.
you guys get it together. It looks awesome. Love it. Brian, you say
Sorry, don't need my eye.
the lights. Need sunglasses up here. You really talked about how you are your brand and your personality really shines through. Can you elaborate a little bit more about why that works well and maybe some ways that you plan to continue that and grow?
So at the moment, like I said, I only sell on Instagram, or I only have social media as Instagram. My next step I'd like to take is to push into YouTube. I feel like that's another audience that I could hit, and another audience I could come to my closet and bring more customers.
I feel the Do You Even Thrift Bro is going to be a series on your YouTube channel.
100%. I'm ready for that for
We're
sure.
ready. Who wants to see that? Because I sure do.
Do it.
We're setting you up.
I might have got myself in trouble. Now I have to make a YouTube channel.
He's so mad.
So what are some ways, and you guys can all answer this, what are some ways you decide what your brand will portray? Like, are there different exercises you do, or is it just kind of based on personality?
Well, I think the good thing about Poshmark is that it really pairs you as a person with your brand because it's based on cleaning out your closet. That was the whole original point of it. So it really gives you this really unique opportunity to pair who you are with what you sell. And I would say, like, being your genuine self, I know that sounds really cheesy, but really, like, being yourself and presenting yourself to your audience can be really helpful. And I feel like, again, like, that does drive customers to your store because they support you as a person. So I would say my brand is just me, and that's it.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I agree completely with that. Again, my brand is me. I am a man that sells women's clothing, so I'm walking up and down these aisles in Goodwill, and people looking at me going, the men's section's over there. And again, and I respond, I know, but this is where the money's at. And again, so like I said, my brand is myself, and you look in my Poshmark closet, and it's women's clothing, and it can be anywhere from Lululemon to Hermes to Acros Punto, and you just don't know what you're getting.
Yeah, I mean, same, ditto. It's my brand is me. Although I'm featuring all the accessories, and it again was just going back to really what I'm truly passionate about, and not feeling bad that I'm not going thrifting because I'll go along with some of the girls from Pittsburgh just because I want to like join in and see what they find because it looks so fun, but. I have like a 2-hour shopping limit. Like I just can't. So.
To each their own. That's the great thing about Poshmark. Yeah. Yep. So we only have like a few more minutes, but I do want to ask about kind of turning existing buyers into repeat buyers. Is there any marketing strategies that help bring people back?
I think that goes right along with brand marketing. I feel like whenever you list items that are similar in style and brand, I'm going to give Jenna a shout out because she's the queen of this, but empty hanger wherever you are, good job. But yeah, I think like having similar items and similar styles in your closet, I know some people don't prefer to do branding, but I think that can really help you sell similar items and have similar sizes. People come back and bundle. I have a customer that comes back every couple months and buys like 8 to 10 things because I have things that she likes in her style and in her size. So I think that it can be really helpful.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with that. Like I said, my packaging, I make sure it kind of looks nice. There's people who do over the top. I'm gonna talk about Haley's hanger. Her stuff is beyond. You go and you buy from her, you know what you're getting. You're getting the bows, you're getting the pretty lettering, you're getting everything. I mean, it's beautiful, but I'm not gonna do that. And again, mine is you're going to get a plastic poly mailer, and then you're going to get another poly mailer on the outside, and it keeps your item clean, waterproof.
And you're going to get good service. There you go.
Yeah. You're getting a good deal, and that's the thing. You come back, you give them a good deal, they're going to come back.
Yeah, so the last thing that I really want to hinge on is trust for people too, and that goes into, again, every part of the process. Answering someone's questions, being timely with it, and then again, what packaging they're getting, and that you are a real person, they can connect with you outside of Poshmark. I was going to add on something earlier when we were talking about, your Instagram, and I really look at Poshmark as, that's my shop, that's my online shop. Now that thankfully there's easier ways to have conversations with people in your shop, but you can also really continue and personalize that conversation through Instagram and really let your personality come out, but again, connect more with that customer, know exactly who is buying from you, and then where to find them, which is like the golden key to marketing.
Okay, I think maybe the last question, but how important is it, this is all again on branding, how important it is to brand your closet? I think to your point, you know what you're gonna get with Haley. Do you guys brand your closets and create logos? Like how important is that?
Yeah, so I can start with that. So for me, again, I treat my closet like a shop, as if when someone first enters, what are they seeing? What's the first impression? So I have specific brand colors. I have a specific logo that I designed. And the way that I photograph things, the backgrounds, the lighting, the angles that I use, so they're consistent with what if people are asking a lot of questions like, oh, does this have this? Or what does this contain? I make sure everything's in the description. Same, shout out to Empty Hanger because Jenna, I binge watched all of her stuff when I first was really getting into Poshmark. Just
give it up for Jenna.
The info was so clear and concise, and so it really helped me. And then I put my marketing hat on and was like, okay, how do I, that's like the business side of it and getting set up. So how do I really, turn the conversation? So yeah.
Yeah, I think one more thing with branding your closet is to maybe have consistent photos. I know a lot of us like to switch up our photos, but maybe having like 1 or 2 backgrounds that you use for everything to kind of create a cohesive look. I know we have like our walls in our office, and we have I use replica surfaces for my flat lays. So we have just consistent photos, and I feel like that helps you to be known by your photos, and people can recognize you that way.
So like I said, good photos, I think that's the main thing that everyone kind of wants to shoot for, is good photos. That's what draws people in, good lighting, all of that. So I am trying to change my closet. I started off just taking photos on my wall, but now I use pants and shorts. They all get flat laid. They have a little rug that I put with the lights facing down, and then everything else gets hung on a wall. So
how do you deal with people when they ask you to model, Brian?
Well,
I'm having too much fun with this one.
On the positive side, if it's free people and it's an extra small, I can fit into that. Positive side. And any size 13 shoes I can wear. So other than that,
all right.
Blessed. Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
All right. On that note, we are out of time. So please give it up for this panel. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much.